March is National Nutrition Month. This is a time to evaluate your food choices and to develop healthy habits. We have Sarah Smith, a dietitian with U of M Health Sparrow, rejoining us on Mid-Michigan Matters. Sarah, a big trend right now is incorporating more protein into one's diet, whether that's through eating more meat like chicken, beef, pork, you name it, or by consuming more of those protein shakes or protein drinks, powder. How does that affect one's body consuming all of this different protein?
Well, we can consume too much protein, which can definitely affect a lot of our organs, or we don't consume enough protein, then that can affect our immune system and our skin health and our overall muscle mass. So there's lots of reasons to include protein, but like you've already mentioned, how much should you be including? So an active person, moderately active, should consume anywhere from 1 gram to 1.2 grams per kilogram of their body weight. But if you're maybe a more sedentary person, not as inactive of a lifestyle, about 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight is good. Older population, like in the geriatric age range, we need to consume about 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight just to help with muscle mass preservation.
So it sounds like there's a lot of benefits to protein, which we've talked about before. Can you rename some of those benefits, but also share the consequences when overeating the protein?
So some positive things for consuming protein is you're going to preserve your muscle mass. So as you age, our muscle mass deteriorates. When you consume protein, that helps to repair and help to continue to grow that muscle mass that you have. And then it also helps to keep your skin healthy. And then protein can also keep you fuller longer and stabilize your blood sugar levels too if you are diabetic or someone that's concerned with your blood sugar levels. Some negative things that can happen if you consume too much protein is our kidneys are typically the first organ that is affected with too much protein. So if someone has kidney disease and they're consuming, 120, 150 grams of protein a day thinking that that's beneficial for them, our kidneys have to excrete all of that excess gas that's produced by the protein breakdown, and then that affects our kidney function and makes our kidney function worse. So consuming too much protein can actually be a huge negative effect on some patients.
Everything in moderation, right? We talk about this time and time again. To get that variety in there, we have a great example, a visual behind us of different types of proteins. What would you recommend, whether that's from this picture or what you're seeing in the stores?
Well, plant-based proteins and animal proteins are both going to be very helpful, and they're both great to include in our diet. It's just which ones, right? So when we think of animal proteins, we want to think of lean proteins. So fat-free or low-fat dairy would be beneficial, or boneless, skinless chicken breast, boneless, skinless turkey breast, or fish. Those are all going to be considered lean proteins. The more saturated fat or cholesterol that's in a protein from an animal, such as a lot of that marbling in your steak, too much of that saturated fat can cause a lot of problems with your heart and overall cardiovascular system. Plant-based proteins are great because not only do they contain protein, they also contain fiber, right? And foods like almonds or other nuts, quinoa, beans, lentils, tofu, soy, those are all great sources of plant-based proteins. But again, there's trace amounts of protein in some things, so you just have to pay attention to how you're balancing your meal. So 2 to 3 ounces of protein is usually a good general recommendation per meal if you're eating 3 meals a day.
So it's all about having that awareness of what you're consuming, making those healthy choices, and then eating in moderation.
Correct.
Sarah, thank you so much for joining us on Mid-Michigan Matters.
You're welcome, Taylor.